Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Mohawk Forex scalping team. And we're back after a good week last week, very volatile, loads of news, especially all around in the end NFP, and then we had the banking situation again that flipped the NFP result basically the opposite way. And then we had that continued volatility. So yesterday, even though it was a bank holiday here in London, we didn't trade. We still saw quite a bit of a sell-off, and this is what we're looking at so far today. There's the London Open on my 2-minute chart, and we can see we've had a sell-off again on the 500. We're in a range now, obviously waiting for the open, and then obviously the big news is tomorrow. Everyone's waiting for the inflation, the CPI, to see what the next move is going to be from the Fed, because it's balanced between, are they going to increase rates, are they going to hold, are they going to cut? No one really seems to know, because jobs data and retail news data suggests holding or hiking, whereas the banking crisis and all the rest of it suggests no increase or even a cut. So nobody knows, as always, only the people on the inside. Our job is just to get in, get out in ninja mode. That's what the whole idea about true scalping is that we don't try and show our hand. We ride the momentum of the open and the news events. We have a quick check on our indicators to make sure we're the right side of a trade and where to get out of the trade, potential supply and demand zone, support and resistance. And that's about it. It's price action all the way is what we're looking at and focusing on, especially when we narrow it down to a 2-minute time frame. We split it, we've got a 2 and a 5 with our MFS indicator system that you gain access to once you're part of the group. And for information on that, just go to the website www.mohawkforex.com. And as you can see on the 5-minute chart, we're in a bit of a falling wedge at the moment. Again, price has been coming down, so potential buys are going to be above our 5-minute trend line here, and we could continue selling down, retesting these lower lows that we've seen, which looks the more likely on the 5-minute. And then you switch to the 2-minute and it kind of shows you that we're below a 200 moving average. We're just kind of around our 20 moving average, but again looking to kind of come down to this level potentially on the open where we got wicked out here. So this is the kind of area we're looking to scalp if it's a sell. As you can see, that ties in nicely on the 5-minute on that trend line. And obviously if it's a buy, then we're going above the 20 into our zone here and then back up to the 200. So we can set kind of a TP. You can see the top of these candles here happens to be about the 200, and then you look at the 5 and it's kind of within that zone of the wedge. So it's perfect. We're in a range. We're waiting for an explosion either side of that, but we can scalp to either sides of it. And that's the whole idea. RSI down the bottom, our boutique one keeps us on the right side so we can see where we are, and if we're hitting a potential high oversold, overbought zones. I'm talking, 10 and 5 on the oversold zone and 85, 90. Everything else is a continuation as far as I'm concerned. So that's the outlook for the open. We've got a few minutes to go, 5-6 minutes, and then we're going to be trading the IBD economic optimism for May news, which predicts to be a bit higher at 48. So again, that could push things lower if the optimism is good, because the more things are good and holding, the more chances of the Fed raising rates. So this will bring the markets down. That's how it should work. Never does, because you've always got the manipulation to watch out for. That's why we'll ride the momentum and ride the move when we see the move on the 2-minute time frame, and then look to get out based on the 5-minute. So nice and simple. Our indicators system here, like I say, is all built so you can use the free package on TradingView. Two packages you get here that encompass a load of different indicators that we kind of use as extra confirmation, but we're mostly price action, a couple of moving averages, and following the trend of the move. Particularly, say, if you go to the 2-minute, we can see that move from this morning down, and we're stuck in this kind of range, and we can kind of box that off there and above. So this is the zone we're kind of looking for a break above to take some buys to this area, and then below we are in kind of no man's land. So you know, we're going to come down to an area about here. Look, as you can see, here's our last. Always draw a box or a line. You know, it's the lines, it's never 100% accurate, but that just gives you an idea where potentially if price breaks here, we could be taking profit around this zone. So we'll just wait and see. We'll stick on this the double chart and wait for the open. We'll just get rid of our yellow lines so we can see clearly. Zoom in on that. As you can see, there's our trend line forming on the 2-minute. Bloomberg in the background, obviously, as well. And we've got Justin over in America joining us as well. So it's good. Good to have you on board, bro.
Live from the great state of Texas.
Yes. And there's the 5-minute. I'm just going to flick to the 5.
Oh, you got the IBD and TIPP today. Good. Awesome. We'll get a Fed speech at 12:05. Williams.
Yes.
Not much news today. That's great.
No, everything's waiting for tomorrow for this inflation. Core inflation 5.5. They're expecting it to drop a little bit. The core inflation about to be the same. Is it going to be higher? Ooh, I mean, if that's higher, then the Fed is going to have to raise rates again.
To 63.75, and finally Evercore downgrading Cummins to inline, forecasting a notable slowdown and weakness in the US trucking cycle. That name is down 1.4% to 220.52. Coming up, the regional banks resuming their declines after 2 days of gains. That conversation up next.
There you go, banks again pushing things down.
With equity futures negative 0.4%, and in the bond market, yields just shifting a little bit higher over the last hour or so.
Pac West is the main one, isn't it, leading the back down again. So all this, you know, influences the 500, whereas the economic news might be good for it, but that banking really just scares the market, and that's why I think we've seen this sell-off. Look at that big sell-off.
This is also a correction from the NFP spike last week.
Yeah, when the 20 and the 200 are far apart, I'm always looking for a correction, but doesn't always happen. And if we don't get a massive rejection off a support resistance line, more than likely it's going to be broken. So that's what you've got to watch out for as well. So we'll see if we break this zone here, then we're going down. If we break this zone here, we're going back up, at least until probably, I'd say about here. Look, you can set an area. You can see where the previous resistance was, a higher one there. But it just gives us some zones to work towards. Whether we hold till that, it's a different ball game. I usually, you know, enter multiple positions, take the green and get out before I've even hit most of these levels, because if I can see them, every other retail trader and everyone else can see them, and all your automated traders that you're fighting against can see it. And that's why I don't do pending orders, showing your hand. You've got the same idea that a million other traders have got, and that's where liquidity grabs happen, market manipulation. We know it all about it. That's why, like here, look, that's a good example of a support zone, you know, and people might have sold here and gone, this is going down. Then what happens? It's a fake out. This is where the market makers know a lot of people are probably waiting to buy, and bang, just takes them out of the equation, you know, the sell, sorry, the end, and then it goes back the opposite way. So this kind of thing, false breakouts are always mostly market manipulation. And like I say, if you've got support and resistance lines on your chart, everybody else has. So that's why we're true scalping. We don't show our hand, we follow the candles, we make the move. We've got a zone set up so we know what we're looking for. Got a lot of rejection candles here, look, on the 2 minute, pushing down. But again, does that mean we're going to get a sell in the open? Not necessarily. Here we go, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, let's get ready. And there we go. Here's the move up. Let's see what we're going to get. It's below that 20. And we're out there. Yeah, that's our first trade's done. That was a nice $30, nice and easy on that sell, on that candle. Again, you just got to wait for that initial move. There's no deep dark secret. If it's moving, it's going to move that way, at least for you to grab some green. There's the results there. Let's have a look now. We're testing this zone here. So we're going to pull back. We're going to pull back. We're going to continue to drop. We're going to hedge down to that. If you look on the 5 minute, the trend line. Let's have a look. And we got another $15 there. Yeah, just again, small gains, small wins. We're only using a small account. We're not going hell for leather crazy. There we go. It's going to hit that trend line. Here we go, look. Let's wait and see if it breaks now, that. So it's nice easy sells. Some people might be done for the day now, you know, on that one particular move. That was like 10 positions there, all winners, all green. Let's see if we're going down lower. We've set a level, as we've said. Just bigger to the bigger 2 minute chart. There you go. Just take this line off. RSI is 25. That's a nice continuation zone. Sat on that, a bit of support.
There we go. Give me the push we deserve. US 30 running for 2 cells.
Yeah. Moving kind of the same way.
Operating margins. They actually put up what some are calling is a clean quarter for that first quarter, beating.
Just broke that zone now. Look, you see, 26 on the RSI, 27.
2023, they're bringing in by about 25 basis points. So it's interesting. That's not a.
I think we're about to break through this lower time frame order block right here at 33527 area.
That operating margin to the lower end of the scale, that it has to do with their unbranded checkout.
The 2 and the 5.
So it's the dynamic
Trying to break that trend. It's got 2 minutes left.
That once that is fixed, that it's going to create a better operating margin. On the other hand, Credit Suisse downgrading shares
24.
To make a market. This stock stuck in a range between
Continuation. If the RSI reaches that 25, we're going lower.
Stock is down 9%. Abby, thanks for that. Abby mentioned that Credit Suisse downgrade. They downgraded it to neutral after the earnings. This is what the analyst had to say. Given the prospects for continued margin pressures throughout 2023, in an uncertain macro,
It's quite a nice reserved move, actually.
Increasing competitive pressures, we find it challenging to recommend the shares.
Brilliant. And we just grabbed another. We grabbed another $10 there. That was good. Another nice $10. Just quick. That's what we're doing. This is true scalping, in and out. We're just getting in and out. We know where stop loss is going to be. We know if we go the wrong way, we're going to come out of the trade. RSI 27 on the 5 minutes, and we're going to touch that support on our points of interest. We're waiting for a possible reversal. Nothing yet. We can zoom in on the 5 minute. Look, there's nothing there yet. Trend line, look. It's going to break RSI back up to 31, so we don't want to be entering a sell yet till we see it break below. Any buys are going to be just a flash buy anyway, but that's looking like a nice exposed wick there. Is he going to push that lower? That they cited the inventory that they do have. Just go back to the 2 and the 5. There we go. That's why that push up. So we're going to get a retest of the 20. So what I usually like to do is wait for that to just retest. I can grab another $10 here maybe. And we did. Yay. In fact, we got 12. Another $12. That was good. Again, we just sold at the top of that candle. So it's all about in and out. And the 5 is just sat. Let's hit that zone. Look, now it's coming back down. So it's like everything. You want to be selling in the green, buying in the red. You know, selling at the high. We've got a price reversal indicator here. I'm waiting for price to hit the 20 and then see if we're going to get a little spike down that we can scalp. Let's just watch this candle now. 18 seconds to go on this. See if we get a few more positions. Obviously, if it breaks that 20 in that trend line, then we're going up to our buy zone here. But this could be just a fake out buy. But I want to try and catch at the top. If this blue zone disappears on the 2. Let's see that pushing up now. Look. Same as on the 5. It's going to hit that blue zone. And then we want to be selling and retest that 20. See how the 20 is really, really good. But you're going to have drawdown if you're here now. You're just going to wait. And again, until the RSI crosses the average, I'm not looking to buy. If it crosses the average, we could be going higher. But you see, it's trying to push low. It's just not working. It just wants to drop.
Kelly, thank you. Movie recommendation: Air, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Very cool. For anyone who might want to watch it at a weekend. Kelly, thank you. Let's turn to the financials.
Nice rejection on US 30 from that supply zone.
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same. The pattern is very, very similar. Just want to see if this is going to push up to the 20. Retest it.
Instability. They don't make it sound good, do they?
They don't make it sound good, and the market is following, John. When you look at PacWest shares, not only have they taken a real beating this year.
I mean, some people might be buying this and just scalping it as it's up and down, but it could just drop without getting back to the 20. Just watching the RSI, look, it's crossing, it's trying to cross that neutral.
At almost 60% or more of their book value, so significant differences here. I also want to talk for just a minute because obviously the stock
Rejection off that wick looks pushing down all the time.
Could see that as short selling in addition to maybe a little bit of stability there. You have the bonds also trading.
Trying to break that trend line again this time. Look, second time on the 5 minute, as you can see.
They were trading at 70 cents on the dollar early last week. So when you take a look at it, both the stock market and the bond market,
2 seconds to go on this candle.
that they're worried about these banks and where they're going from here.
So that's definitely a red candle there.
If things were to go really south, both the shareholders and the bondholders are pretty much wiped out in a scenario like that. Now we're not near that moment. We know that PacWest in particular,
RSI still got a long way to go.
but those strategic options, as we know, are what put them on a ratings watch over at Fitch. So the strategic direction ahead, until they get it sorted out, it is very hard for both the market as well as other counterparties to get comfortable with what's going on with these banks.
This name right now is at 570. Last Monday,
Let's see if it's going to break this zone. We're going lower.
February it was trading close to 30. At what phase of this process, Shanali, are we in right now?
You can see here, look, on the big on the 2 minute.
Yeah,
Zoom in.
hard to know. It was a lot clearer for the first set of banks, wasn't it? We knew that the pain came fast and hard. But even with deposits showing to stabilize at some of these firms, these longer bleeding existential
Waiting for this to break, disappear, then we're going lower. RSI, it hits that 25, remember.
Markets are on the banking system. Only 2 stocks in the KBW index are up on the year. So
Back up to
every other
31.
stock is in the red here. It's hard
Pushing
to get
back.
them out of that hole, especially when you're looking at a key corp Zion.
Let's see if we can get anything on this.
Exposures to the market, some of which, whether you're looking at auto loans or commercial real estate, the market is still worried about.
These names trading lower in the first 8 minutes of the session. Shanali, thank you. They had been trading lower through the whole of this morning in the pre-market. Clear Harbour's Aaron Kennan seeing more pain as the banks try to resolve their issues running this. The medicine may have a bitter taste. In order to reduce risk,
The banks again overriding everything at the moment.
in the coming months, further reducing credit availability. This is hardly good news for an economy already teetering on the edge.
Yeah, this is it.
Aaron, I'm pleased to say, joined us right now. Aaron, here's the problem. The stock market's up on the year on the Nasdaq.
So on the 5 minute we're sat on this support of the wedge, the falling wedge. See if we're going to break.
Approaching double-digit gains for the year. Aaron, what's going right?
Well, you know, the earnings season,
No serious rejection yet. RSI is 36, pointing back up again, but still looking to sell.
Estimates were were about for 7 to 8% year-over-year decline in earnings, and they came in at -3. And so the market has no reason to shudder on the heels of that news. The employment numbers remain really strong. The consumer looks strong, and inflation is decelerating. And so the narrative that we're going to certainly experience a hard landing isn't really cooked into the book, certainly on the equity side. I think the bonds side is, you know, with the MOVE index, the volatility index for bonds still very elevated, and frankly, yields well below those levels seen in early March would suggest that the bond market is almost a little more concerned than the equity market about the prospects of a recession and perhaps the fallout from banks.
Let's talk about both those pieces. On earnings, Savita Subramanian of Bank of America said something similar.
20 minutes till the news, remember, as well.
5% EPS beat, surprise ratios
18 minutes, so this will definitely, we don't want to be in any positions while the news is ideally coming out, so we're just going to wait for that to play out as well.
That's not going to change in a material way in the coming months and quarters. He thinks the pain trade for equities is still higher.
This is where, if it touches that, we'll have to be trying to get some sells in.
And you have unemployment that is perhaps the lowest that we're going to see in this cycle. You have the Fed on hold.
Retest that 20, as I said, that's where we're going to be looking to take the sales as well.
It just seems as though the risk reward, and that's what we're always thinking about, of higher equities from
so this is a nice level of resistance now that we mapped out from earlier. That was from way back here, look, as you can see.
You look at net long positions, you look at sentiment indicators, they are low. So I think Krishna has a good point that, you know, we're sort of climbing this wall of worry, but earnings growth is not
RSI's creeping over the average on both. There's a nice little pullback.
Level from where we are right now.
And that disconnect that you identified between the bond market, the Fed, and the equity market.
This is where we're looking to take sales on the retest of the 20.
Is that something that resonates with you then?
Well, it certainly feels that way.
Let's see if we get a red candle.
You know, the good news is employment's remained strong.
Like I say, if we get to this zone here, we're looking to buy to the 200, and then a rejection of the 200.
The rise in credit card rates and
we just got to hold. Let's wait, see. It's a nice push up.
But those chickens may not come home to roost until maybe later this year rather than earlier, and so the Fed may not cut until the latter part of this year, maybe the fourth quarter into early 2024.
It's going to hit that 200.
Markets do not bottom until the Fed cuts after a tightening cycle, and so I think
strong bullish momentum.
Yeah, nice candle.
My friend over at JP Morgan has a point.
This is something
Again, Dim Barnes waiting to take the pullback on this.
Really pricing the recovery to a recession we haven't had yet.
Sit and wait.
I mean, I think that's a challenge. You know, the average cycle would suggest that there's odds of a 12.5% recession, 12.5% odds of a recession every year, because we have a recession once every, call it, 8 years. So even if you think there's a sort of 3 times the likelihood of a recession this year, it still suggests that, you know, the odds are we don't have one. And so that's why we're sort of in the soft landing camp. I mean, our debt to GDP levels are high. Fiscal stimulus is coming off from the COVID period somewhat significantly.
Brilliant, just covering some positions there, some sells. That was another 10, 20, 30, or $40 there.
I mean, I think that the risks of a recession are certainly more than that 12.5% average level. But are we in a hard landing camp?
Like I say, put the sales in on that 200 moving average. Now we're coming down again, you see. Let's have a look if there's any more.
Aaron Cannon of Clear Harbor, and thank you. That conversation's coming up next. Biden and McCarthy meeting face to face.
So we're 253. Oh. Lovely rejection, you see. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I want to see. I can always put more in again. Nice, straight off the 200. Perfect.
6 hours time. We'll get the view from Henrietta Trays of Vader Partners and
so I'm not worrying about real buys unless price is above the 200, as we know. 20 and 200 come together. It's just a retest off it.
Biodiversity is crucial to our planet's survival, and investors can aim to make a positive impact on it.
Climate.
Got the news as well coming. On the 5 minute you can see it as well. So again, it's just a case of waiting. We're just trading price action all the way. when you're in this kind of no man's zone between the 20 and the 200, a lot of people don't like to trade it. I'll only trade it if I see a big rejection like that we just saw. That was our biggest win at the open, was trading off that 200. Now we're just going to see what prices are going to do. Is it going to sit on the 20? Is it going to go back? Is it going to break? So we'll just sit and wait. We're still in the wedge, falling wedge on the 5-minute time frame, as you can see. Let's get to these zones now because they're going to be way off where we need to be.
China and the shockingly cautious view the IMF has on the view 5 years forward.
Bloomberg, your global business authority.
So this could be good again. Look.
MasterCard introduced PayPass, its first contactless payment system, in 2002, but the technology took some time to gain traction.
I would say we first invested in this many years ago. The adoption rate on this in the early part, even in markets like the UK, Canada, Australia, was fairly slow in the early part. The inflection point of when it really started to hit its stride.
And that was another $30 there, another $30 again. Sold off the 200. This is easy shit. I mean, this is, you know, it's not hard. No one I'm convinced it's going to at least come down and give me some money, even if it shoots up and breaks, and we'll take buys. But look at that, it's a lovely rejection again off the 200. 2 candles now rejected off it. So we're 285 now. Let's just see what this is going to do. So we've got about 15 minutes to the news. My kind of price is trapped between the 20 and the 2, but
if contactless payments is the current revolution sweeping the payments industry, what's the next one?
I think pay when you smile. So, biometrics.
The difference between political gossip and policy intelligence. Bloomberg government provides our clients.
That's a nice candle. Look at that, it's going to bounce off that 20. See the rejection on the 5-minute off our trend line. Look, see, this is all drawn for you, all part of the system. I've not drawn anything apart from the couple of purple lines. Everything is done for you as part of the system. You just go, just wait for the setup. You can see the rejection off that 2. You can see where we've come from on the 5-minute. We're in this falling wedge still. A couple of minor areas of support and resistance, but that held up as we'd assume this area would do. Just going to see if it's going to push down, but here's the zone.
Mr. President, why don't we sit down and work through it?
It's Congress's job to do this.
I will not raise taxes, and we will not pass a clean debt ceiling.
Whether you pay the debt or not,
that's the area of support we're looking at.
What your budget is.
You know what happens with a compromise? We can get something together.
Let's get it straight.
So it's waiting for price to break this zone in between the 20 and the 200. You can see on the 5 it's an area of support here and the resistance of the wedge of the trend line. So it's which one is stronger. Markets are waiting and they've got the news coming up. You know, we're under the 200, so I'm always thinking it's a sell, but I want to see some movement. I want to see the break. And then we'll trade the news and then we're done, and that's it. Quick half-an hour, 40-minute scalping. Do it on the London Open, do it on the New York Open. That's it, you're done for the day. You know, this is what we do day in, day out. Try and do it 5 days a week if the markets are set up. If not, you do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and avoid Monday, Fridays unless there's some main news event. That's the secret of doing this scalping, in and out. You can see it fighting, look. We've got a break here. I'm just waiting for the next move. Could have bought off the bottom of the 20, but I'm just, like I say, I'm bearish. I'm thinking of a bear move at the moment, so everything is kind of, you know, telling you that any kind of buys are just purely little kind of pullbacks, unless this economic optimism news it's worse than expected and the markets shoot up. But obviously the banks today and everything is dictating all this.
Right now. Henrietta, thanks for being with us. Let's talk about process before we talk about substance. How much negotiations do you actually think is going to take place?
RSIs are back in the neutral zone on both the 2 and the 5.
Today, I'm not expecting much of anything. I think both sides will sort of reiterate their point. Press will be available to take pictures, and we've all seen that in the last couple of rounds here, famously seeing former President Trump and Speaker Pelosi going into a room together with Senator Schumer and Senator McConnell. It's basically all the same figures again, just with
Let's
Biden
see
and Hakeem Jeffries replacing
if
those
it's going to
other two.
break that 20.
And I expect it'll just be
They
a lot
can
of
cover
handshake,
some sells.
reiteration of their points. The one thing I'm really watching for is any indication that we're going to start tying this seriously to the federal spending bills.
It's rejected off it, pushing back down again.
Could be an early indicator that we're going to punt this
You see the
entire
bears are definitely in control.
September period, which is the end of the federal fiscal year. So I'm encouraging clients to really focus on that narrative. Any mention of appropriations bills, fiscal year 2024, those are all buzzwords for, hey, maybe we just kick the can on this for a couple more months.
Lots of people are telling me it's important that Congress isn't really working this month. You have to pay attention to how little they're going to be around. Henrietta, is that important?
Honestly, I don't think so. They don't vote at the same time anyway. So I think, and in my experience now going back more than a decade, having 3, almost 4 weeks to hammer out a deal is plenty of time.
Still watching. This is what a lot of it is. This is why you don't be doing this for 6 hours a day. Probably some people do, but you just want to be doing this for, like, say, 40-50 minutes either side the opens, around the kind of main news events. Price action in and out, grabbing the green, and what you come away with. Now it looks like we're going to break. We're going to break the 20. We're going to go lower. It's just a bounce up off it. Just going to push down, and we can start. Let's have a look.
Then they go on recess, and then the House votes the following week, and then everybody departs for the Memorial Day break. That's plenty of time, and they don't need to be in office at the same time to vote. They're not in the same chamber anyway.
Reading the tea leaves, follow the staff, is something you told me a number of weeks ago. Henry, I think a lot of people in this market, and I'm happy to speak for them because they talk to me often about it, they're struggling to find an edge. They can't find an edge because they don't really know what to look for in these negotiations. They think it turns out the way it always turns out. It's not going to be different this time. Henrietta, how do you get an edge on how you read these negotiations, the tea leaves you look at, what you follow, and whether you ultimately think it's different this time?
Well, I really stick with the tried and true. I continue to talk with staff every single day. They're the ones who have a temperature.
You see it fighting, pushing up, look, rejecting off the 20. It's sort of watching. We're seeing it's a bearish candle on the 5. It's a pullback on the 2. I want to see a clean break.
And staff is best positioned to do that. So I would encourage your watchers.
Oh, going back up and we'll sell again at the top. Quite a frustrating little move, this one. It's just because the markets are waiting for a news event. We had this sort of little move on the open. It's quite a poor open in terms of movement and volatility, as we know everything's fairly flat. But you can still get in, as we've seen, and get a few pips.
For, decades now. And the same holds true on the House side. If you look at the 2014 debate, you had Speaker Boehner, a Republican from Ohio, as the Speaker in a Republican House. And then you had Democrats in the Senate and the White House. It's effectively the same playbook. And if you look at the final vote there, it was something like 23 Republicans and 193 Democrats who ultimately provided.
So candle was a rejection, so it's sat at that as support. Let's see if we're going back up and we can take some more sells, or where it's going to break this time. So watching the RSI in the neutral zone, so it doesn't know which way yet. Pushing back down again, look. Even just to grab a couple of dollars, it doesn't matter.
Thank you. Wonderful to catch up with her. One of the best down in Washington. For your equity market, we're down about 0.4%. Let's get you some sector price action. Here's Abby.
John, well, we are looking at this decline for the S&P 500, low volume, but nonetheless, it is broad-based. Most S&P 500 sectors are lower, tend to be precise, led by real estate and materials.
There we go.
Both down
This is why we're pushing lower.
The one sector that is higher. Communication services up about 0.4%.
This is what we're actually trading now.
Though, is over the last 5 days, tech, the biggest weighting to the S&P 500, well, it's actually higher. It's not just tech. It is the entire mega cap tech complex, communication services, tech, and discretionary. So go figure.
Abby, thank you. That's the sector price action. Your trading diary up next.
So we get that little bounce. Price for it is so hard around the 20. That's why I like the 20 moving average. A simple moving average. You can see between them how it rejects and respects it every single time. On the 5 minute we're in a range now. Look, you can see we had a nice rejection, doji, undecision, then we tried to sell, then we're trying to push back up. We're all around this zone here. Again, it's just this news. We've got 5 minutes to go, everybody. 5 minutes to go. And we'll see what the optimism news is. 48, so it's higher. And obviously, if you want to, you can just zoom in and just see that greater than 50 implies economic optimism, which potentially could drop the markets if it's higher than 48, or even if it is 48. 50 definitely. But for the dollar, obviously, look, a high exposure is positive for the dollar. The dollar and what we're trading are two different things, remember, so be careful of that. Don't you think US 500 is the same as the dollar? It's not, you know, for those of you who don't, because there's people out there who don't, believe you me. So I've had to push back up into the green zone, look, so I'm not looking to add any positions or anything at the moment. We're just going to wait and see for this news. Going to reject. We've got a 200, we've got a trend, and we've got a resistance level, all covering this here. Now if we get a nice spike up, guess what I'm going to be doing? Selling on the way back down again. Because again, any kind of, if it is good news, it is just short term. No news event at the moment. Even NFP has proved on Friday, you know, didn't turn the market. There was a quick spike and then bang, it was back down to the main news, banks, etc., interest rates, all the rest of it. So
26 minutes into the session, trading just a little bit softer. Let's get straight to the trading diary. Fed speak picking up with Williams at noon Eastern. Then at 4
later on,
President Biden's debt limit meeting with congressional leaders.
CPI.
CPI out tomorrow morning, PPI the following day, and another round of jobless claims on Thursday, plus the Bank of England's next rate decision.
Brilliant. So news, and more news, which we like. The rest of the week. Today's probably the quietest day.
Here's Bloomberg.
We'll see, we're back to that 200. So we'll see if we're going to get a rejection on this news. Really, this news could be a nice little catalyst. That's coming up. 1 minute to go. So good luck everybody on this news. See if it actually moves, and remember, in and out is the key. Follow the money, follow the smart money, that's what they say. It's a nice break above, look. This is all, could be nice manipulation here, so I'm loving. Itching to get those sells in now. Come on. It always happens right on when the news is going to be. You can see, look, on the countdown. It could push higher before it drops back down again, so I've got to be careful of that. RSI 70. Yeah, it's rejecting now then, look already. This is all pre-manipulation. This is not the news. This is just people anticipating, covering their positions before the news kicks.
But to some people, they may say, well, Ken, what happened? Where did that hairdo come from, and where has it gone? Because right now, it seems a little different than what I've seen before.
Yeah, it's growing out a little bit, David, but COVID, you know, I ended up with
a nice candle
back down to my shoulder, and I finally realized.
Right, we're loaded up. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to go, everybody. Let's see. Are we going to get a shoot up before pull down, or are we going straight down?
And I had it cut off.
It's a nice break above the 200 in the end. Once it's been retested a couple of times, look, if it doesn't get a massive rejection, it's going to break it. It's just the way it is, structure is. But like I say, I'm still conscious we're in a bear market on this. So let's get ready. We've got a heavy resistance zone way up here. Look, we'll be out of the trades though.
Enhanced search on the terminal to deliver what you need when you need it.
Here we go.
You can simply type phrases in everyday English in the command line.
There's the push up.
Compare financials. Find people. Analyze markets. You can enter phrases or ask questions. What do you want to know today? Ask a question.
There's the
or
rejection.
visit Search Go to find answers now.
The news hasn't even been announced yet. Here we go, look. It's not even there yet. This is all clever manipulation that we see on a daily basis. Nice rejection. Let's watch the price action. Let's try and scalp. Bloomberg will announce the news. There'll be a bit of a delay, but maybe they're not.
Pepsi's number feet.
No, because that's an advert for about half an hour now. So let's just focus on watching the price action here. Let's just refresh this again. And this is going to be the final trades of the day. Yes, RSI 72.65, so it's fairly bullish. There's just a little pullback. You can zoom out and see what the zone is. Look, there it is. Look at that. Right where I took that line off, where I said just here. Look at that. That's why it's rejecting. That's your line of resistance. Look, just look left. There it is.
Swept the Asian liquidity on US 30.
Yeah, and it's the same on the 500. It was just a nice little market grab. IBD news. Have you got anything you got a reading yet for it?
Nothing.
No. I'll put the marker on there, but we're pushing down. Zoom in so we can see the price action.
Hanging off that lower high we created yesterday. Towards the end of the session.
It's going to hit that 200 look and reject, as we know. Get a nice cheeky $20 out of this. We did. Let's see if we can get any more. Got a couple of positions there. $20. There's the result. Right. Just posting those results. There's the push down. There we go. What was the result in the end? It was 41.6. So worse. So that might push the markets back up. Let's have a look. It's rejecting so far. This is why we go with the price action. You see, one, the results are always delayed. There's always insider knowledge. So we always wait. We watch the price action and see how that moves. and there's your push up, you see. So I can move this across to, so what we'll do is if the reaches a high again up here, then we'll take some more sales. Like I say, this news, it's not major, but it will give you an edge to sell at a high, is what I'm thinking. If it does push up, if not, we'll just jump in as it pushes down. So we're good to go either way. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. Let's print that result. 41.6, so that's surprised things, that has. And getting prices sat on the 200, that's why we get a pushback on it. Like I say, I'm still thinking this is going to break. I'll retest that 20 moving average in a minute. RSI back in the neutral zone. So there's bigger news around than that IBD, obviously. Oh yeah, we've got another cheeky $10 there. Yeah, just as it bounced, I took profit just as it hit the 200. So that was another nice little win. So that's 311 is what we're up. $311.80. Look at this now. That's what I want to see. Come on, we're going to go again. More sales. Come on, push, push, push. All the way back down. Look at that. Beautiful. RSI has now come out the red. So this is time to put sales in, and once it crosses the average on the 5 minute look, we're going down to our level of support again. We've got a nice support zone there. Let's see if it retests that 20 moving average. There's your position. I love the retests of these 20s and 40s, that's what it's all about. See if we can get another $10 here. Covered those positions nicely. Yeah, we got another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. So again, that's all. You know, it's just it all adds up. It all adds up. And again, that was just a sell. Sold the rejection off the 20 moving average. Let's just see if it fills this wick, comes down a bit more. 328.61 now. 328.61. We're under the 20. RSI is looking good, breaking below the 43. I'm just going to see if it's going to come a red out of the on the 5 minute look. we're going to retest this support zone. This is what we're hoping for. Again, I'm going to be taking more sells if it touches the 20 and bangs off it. If not, we're just going to load more positions as it comes down to our zone here. We've got our area of support here, look. Just get rid of that line, don't need that one anymore. Oh. And then we'll be done. So all about the price action. Just watching how the candle forms. Push down, look, nice. Again, not being greedy. Seeing the green, taking the green. Because you get loads of opportunities. Beautiful. Yay, another $15 there. Excellent, that'll do. 341 now. Covered those positions nicely on the sell. Again, you could have held yourself from the open if you wanted to, you know, or just do how we do it now, covering all these positions. You know, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. Just see if it's going to push down to that zone. As we said, it would retest it. It's just on that purple line that I took out before, because obviously this is more of a big zone I think we're heading towards now. Again, if we retest that 20, we'll put some more cells in. Oh, let's just watch this candle. So it's just popping out on the 5 minute 44, look, just nice. $45, $43, pushing back down again, look. Nice off that. I like it, rejecting off the 20. There she goes again. Oh, brilliant. This is another $50, $40. Come on. End the positions, end the positions. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, again, sold at the top. Just sold here when it rejected down. Took my money. And $400 hit. And that is my TP done. That will do me. That was nice, those cells there. Just have a look, we got, what did I actually get in the end? 10, 20, 30, 40, yeah, now about nearly $50, so. Again, let's see if it retests the support zone and going down. I'm just liking the fact we're getting bounces. We're below the 200, we're below the 20, you know what I mean? We're not looking for buys. Any buys are just quick. We just want to be selling at the top, obviously, and buying at the bottom. Here's the zone where I'm interested in potential buys once it comes back into here. If it does, if it just ranges around here, guess what? We're not trading. We're only trading if we're going to hit the top of this, into this area, dropping down, or if we're into the zone here coming up, or if we pop out of the zone, then we're coming down, you know. And again, just watch the RSIs. RSIs are red, so it's sell territory. It's coming down. Look, here we go, look. So this is a good example how you trade price action, true scalping, combination 2-minute, 5-minute time frame, you know. And again, the indicators just are there to help, not to guide my entry as such. I'm watching what price is doing. You know, we've had that initial open, the manipulation buy, the news dropped. I've probably got a bit of a range going on now, but again, it's still, you can sit here all day if you want, just trading off that 20, trading off the 200, trading off your resistance and trend lines if that's what you want to do. You know, like I say, I've hit my TP for the day, 400, so that will do me. I'm just going to shut down my broker so I'm not tempted, which is the best thing to do. And that's it, and we're done. We're done in 45 minutes of scalping. We'll do more streams like this just to show people you can do it in and out. What happens afterwards, doesn't matter. You've taken your money, close, forget about it, don't look back. You know, don't say, oh, I could have held, or wish I'd been around, yeah, should have been another half and I could have made more money. Guaranteed you'd probably lose it. That's the way it is. Just set your daily target, pips, pounds, dollars, whatever you want it to be, percentage of your account, and then go for it. And then, like now, look at that, see, now it's bounced up. This is where I'm looking again, getting some positions in. I'm not now because I've closed my broker down, so we'll watch this though. Like you say, you can keep watching this and see, but I have a feeling it's going to touch and we're going to go down lower, but we will see. But that's it, guys. I mean, thank you for joining me again on another live stream. Just going to say that in the chat. Thank you, Justin, for joining me.
Yes, sir. Always.
True scalping rules, my friend.
Always, brother.
So yeah, again, if you want to learn how to do this, you know, then join the group www.mohawkforex.com. All the information is there, and the description on the YouTube channel below. Look at that. See, if you'd sold at the 20, look, top of that candle, now you'd be in profit. This is it. You could keep doing this all day long, but like I say, you've got to stop at some point and say, that's it, I'm done, I'm out. You know what I mean? It's, you know, that's why people lose their money, because they get greedy, and then one candle will totally blow you out of the water, you know. So in and out, around the opens, around the news event, done. That's it. That's where the volatility is. That's where the moves are. Everything else is just cream cheese. Anyway, until the next one, until CPI tomorrow, I'll be trading that in the group with the guys as part of the team. So like I say, if you want to join us, then hurry up and join in. But thanks for watching. I hope this has been beneficial to show you it can be done, and we'll catch you all on the next one. So until then, take it easy, everybody, and see you on the next.